And we are live. And I forgot to mute the other thing, so hopefully I get to it in time before it has it in stereo. Boom. Woo! Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us today. Let's go back and see who's here. Hello, hello. Katze der Nacht. Autumn, hello. Hashtag squirrel. Jerry Rholetter, hello. Phantom Zone, hello. And Evan the Nerd was here. I don't know if he's still here. I've been summoned. Yes, you have. So I went on a search this morning. Hey, Roger. I'm always looking for, Christmas or seasonal themed stories, but I always find them after the season is over. Hey, Bernadette. Aloha. Melekelikimaka. Squirrel. Yep. Autumn. I literally ordered a squirrel puppet that I'm considering like a whole channel for the squirrel. Not even kidding you. It's funny. Just the thoughts of that we've been coming up with here for the ideas are hilarious, but I don't know if it'll translate on screen, so sounds so impressive with these new speakers. Oh, thank you. YouTube is its own. Yeah, I know. They had like a whole. So I don't know if you know this, but when you become a YouTuber, you'll get emails. Even if you have like a couple of hundred subscribers, you'll get emails from these people that want you to join their network. And it's basically like what it is they sign you on and try to build you up, and then they take a cut of whatever you get. And if you're under so many, you don't get anything already. So they're taking anything that you would ever get. So these bigger YouTubers were all involved with this one entertainment company. And then they kept delaying everyone's payments that they were supposed to pay them. And then it was like the whole of all 2018, they kept delaying their payments. And their September and October, I think, they kept it and then closed their doors. And YouTube paid the entertainment company whatever they were supposed to pay the creators. And now YouTube, as a result, because the company that they paid went out of business, they no longer exist. Now these entertainers and a group of lawyers, I believe, are suing YouTube because of that whole scenario. So that could be actually disastrous for YouTube. It's like they hired someone to just like destroy them from within. It's kind of what it seems like. But I'm for the squirrel puppet. Yeah. There must be a huge delay. If you accidentally hear me eating, I'm so sorry. I got up and immediately made like 6 dozen peanut butter cookies. I made like 4.5 dozen sugar cookies last night. I'm not done. But as a result of that, I didn't eat anything yet. So I'll try to not do that into the speaker here, but I'm not perfect. I may slip. Hi, T. My doggy likes to come in here and sit on the rug. If she's not barking at anybody that's outside, she likes to come in here and sit on the rug by me while I'm doing this. I watched stories on YouTubers being stalked by fans. No. Number one, I'm not popular enough to be stalked by fans. Hey, Schmeister. Evan, you came back. Good, good. Oh, wait, I saw that before. Have you seen the trailer for the new Godzilla movie? We'll check that out in the live stream. How about that? We'll check it out together. Isn't it called Godzilla Monster or the King of Monsters, something like that? I think she meant stalked, but yeah. No, I've never been stalked by someone that listens to my stuff. Oddly enough, there's times when I'm shopping and people stare at me for a really long time. And I'm like, why are they staring at me? Then I'm thinking, well, maybe they've seen me on YouTube. And I'm thinking, no, I highly doubt it. I love Godzilla. And when the last one came out, It was so packed. My husband and I sit like in the theater we were in. There was like two sets of seats, the ones that are lower in front, and then the ones where like they go up a set of stairs. We sat in the back row, in the middle of the back row of the first chunk in front, thinking that no one would sit by us. And it was so crowded in there. We had strangers on each side. And we kept waiting for the part where Godzilla does his, ah, and he like flings his head back and like screeches into the air. And when he did that, we were like doing it too. It was so funny because we were so original. Like we're Godzilla fans to where they used to have the dubbed over Godzilla. So on some channels they still have it, but the dubbed over Godzilla old shows where that was like really, really horrible. You could tell there was a person in the costume. Those ones. Those were awesome. King of the Monsters. Yeah, that's right. Roars. Yeah, not screeches. I wondered how someone would stalk someone else. That was weird. Oh. Like on a shelf. But stalk. Yeah. I knew exactly what she meant when she said that, but no. I've had weird instances outside of this, but not with YouTube. Not that I know of, anyway. I mean, but I'm pretty sure no. Definitely not. Cloning facility. Ding, ding. Well, we could just check it out now if you want. Let's see here. You know what? We're just going to move on. So I found, let me see how many pages I gathered here. I've got 15 pages, but there's big gaps between each one. I found 15 Ouija board stories, 12 ghost stories, and then an article from a ghost hunting husband and wife team. And I didn't even see if it was Ed and Lorraine Warren, but there's 9, what did it say it was? Signs that you live in a haunted house. And we're going to wrap it up on that. And then we'll go from there to see where you guys want to, what direction you want to take it in after that. Let's see. I watch many main scary stories and video game videos, which I too post some. My other channel, I post my own and watch paintball videos. Huh. I've never been paintballing, but it sounds so fun. I mean, I can take the hits. I don't want to get in the face or head. Oh, you just heard my cherry Diet Pepsi. Don't hate on my Diet Pepsi. I'm only having one. I might have one pop every other day. And I can't have any past, like it's 12:12 right now. Yesterday I had a pop at like 3 p.m. and it messed up my whole sleeping schedule. I'm not a person that really can have caffeine late into the day. But anyway, listening while making dinner. Ooh, what are you making for dinner? Elana, hello. Clean speakers. Good morning. Maybe drink a protein shake. Sorry about my boo-boos. Autumn, I'm sure I will fit comfortably. It's a nice shelf. Okay, let's get into the stories. So we are going to start with 15 Ouija board stories. And if you've heard them, I apologize. I know that I've done some, gosh, maybe a couple of years ago at this point, I've done some. Excuse me, on my channel. I was chewing and I didn't think you guys wanted to hear that. Because before I start the stories, I wanted to ask you guys, I was thinking about this before I started. Does anybody actually watch mukbang or mukbang? Squirrel. Does anybody watch those? And like what is the most satisfying? Like, because most people just like talk about themselves and then they do a mukbang or whatever. But a mukbang is like an eating show. So I'm thinking like you would want to just see the person eating and not talking. But like, what's the best one? Like where they get really, really sloppy and disgusting with it. Like they fling like spaghetti sauce right onto the camera or like butter's dripping off their face. I don't know. Mukbang. Mukbang, whatever. It's actually people, you can put that into YouTube and see people actually just eating on camera and people love it. I don't know. Last time I played paintball, I didn't record because most of them were noobs and failed. Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah, it's a thing. It's weird. Okay, it looked like it was buffering for a second. Is it all right? Let's see here. Let's go up here. Rude. Okay. Number 1. This one's titled Creepy Coincidence. My sister and I messed around with the Ouija board a few times when we were teenagers. Every time we used the board, we seemed to communicate with the same spirit named Ed, who constantly threatened our younger brother during the sessions. Even though our brother, who was 4 or 5 years old at the time, was nowhere near us. It scared us so much we threw out the board. We never mentioned a word of this to our brother. A few years later, our brother brought home a friend's Ouija board. After he and a friend used the board a few times, he told us he was a little freaked out because a spirit named Ed kept threatening him. Our mother banned Ouija boards from the house after that incident. Yeah, should have done that before. Oh, have you guys heard these or not? Do you think you've heard that one before? From me? Damn, Gypsy. Hey. Can't stand to watch anyone eat. Why would you watch that? I don't know. That's why I was asking. Really nice Chinese food. I am a sucker for crab rangoon. Big time. Okay. I don't see a response as to whether you guys have heard these or not, so awesome. Moving on with it then. All right. And have you guys watched all of my Ouija board videos? I don't think I've done any this year, maybe a couple earlier, like in the spring or something, but I did a lot last year. I might have, I don't know, I'll have to go back and look. Anyway, this one is titled Knowing What No One Else Could. So my brother is adopted from South Africa. The hospital intake examination found him to be a newborn. So his official birthday is March 27th, 2001, the day someone found him and brought him into the hospital. That's what's on all of his records, South African and American. And that's the day we celebrate. It is entirely possible that he could have been a day or 2 days old when he was found. So anyway, it's me and 6 other girls, and we're doing silly teenage girl things with a Ouija board. I thought it would be cool to ask what my brother's real birthday is, and to make sure the results weren't skewed, I took my hand off the planchette and stepped away from the board, and had the other girls ask, "What is Caroline's brother's birthday?" They knew my brother was adopted, but they didn't know the whole backstory about his birth date being somewhat fuzzy. There's no way they could have known that he was brought to a hospital on March 27th of 2001. Their fingers were on the planchette, and it moved to the numbers 3262001. March 26, 2001. It's completely plausible that he was born on the 26th and found on the 27th. It still kind of weirds me out when I think about it. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but it's fucking weird that the possibly exact birth date of my baby brother born in South Africa and adopted by my family that live in DC showed up on a Ouija board at a summer camp in New Hampshire. Ooh, dun dun dun. Should check the chat and see what you guys are up to. You've seen all of my videos? Hey, Dubco. What's up? I don't know. I tend to not actually, when I look at a Ouija board, I can't tell if the letters E and D are close together. I don't know. My younger sister watches YouTube videos of people making miniature fake wax food. She's 18. I've seen all of your videos. I'm in the process of looking for real friends if anyone is. My younger sister watches YouTube videos of people making miniature fake wax. I have it on my phone so I don't have to go back and forth with the screen on the computer because it's too hard. So all of them? There's over 300 videos. You've really seen them all? That's really impressive. I feel like I should send you something. I still have to make merch for Schmeister and Hex Wando. I have not forgotten. I've just now feeling back into the swing of things with normality. So, yeah, back to the stories. Ghosts of Confederate Soldiers is the title of the next one here. My best friend and I tried out a board over on our college quad. It was an old Southern school that got torched in the Civil War. And sure enough, we spoke to two young men who claimed to be soldiers. It may well just have been our subconscious guiding us to see them, but when I asked if they were Union soldiers, the planchette whipped to no so fast it almost made my fingers fly off, which then made us laugh. The next one is titled Falling Plant and Handprints. These aren't they're all really, really, really short stories, though. Or not even stories, they're just, what's this one titled? Doesn't really say. Oh, Falling Plant and Handprints. When I was in college, a group of friends and I were playing with the Ouija board in our dorm room and asked the spirit to give us a sign that it was in the room. A plant that was hanging over the window crashed onto the floor, and handprints were smudged on the blinds. Ooh, dun dun dun. Moving skulls. My fiance at the time and I were sitting on my bed with an old board that a friend found on the side of the road. We asked who was with us, and it said, Mo. I asked, that was my cat and dog trying to kill each other. Okay, come in here. Anyway, I asked, are you a demon, spirit, or angel? Now, let's not read into the fact that right when I was about to ask, are you a demon, spirit, or angel, that my dog and cat almost killed each other in the hallway right next to where I'm sitting. Okay, heartbeat. You said demon by your creation. We were a bit freaked out, but we kept going. We asked more simple questions like, how many are with you? He replied, 7. What is your favorite poster that I have? It replied, Bloody Mess. I pointed at a kiss photo I have of Gene Simmons with his tongue out while blood was everywhere in and around his mouth. This one? I asked it, and it replied, yes. After a few more questions, I asked him to move my skeleton heads on my TV because we wanted to know if this was fake or not. Mo replied, close eyes. After a few seconds went by, all of my skeleton heads were facing us. How the hell could that be faked? We were the only two in the room at the time, and all the while sitting close to one another. That's freaky. Whew. Is this still happening here? Yes. All right. Working on its own. When I was about 16, I found an old school Ouija board at a thrift store. It was made of real wood, not paper like they are now. It was thin, but still wood, balsam, I think. I was intrigued with it, so I took it home. Me and a friend were playing with it, but nothing was happening, so we just gave it up, left it on the bed, and went out for snacks. There was no window open, no random draft, no air on at the time, no fan. Nothing could have caused it, but when we came back in with snacks and pop, that board was working on its own. The planchette was traveling all over the board, and the word it was spelling out was vowel. For a minute, we just stood there and watched it spelling out that word several times. Then, my friend scooped it up and broke it. We then covered it with salt and got rid of it in the safe place. Whoa. That's freaky. Check the chat. That's weird. That's not updating. Trying to look at the live chat on something else and it's not. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Wow. You have, Roger? Wow. I think there's almost 30 of them. There might be a few more than 30 serial killer Saturdays. You're not sending yourself. I don't know. I'll see. Schmeister, don't discount it. It might not be as bad as you're thinking. Damn Gypsy. Yes, I spend about 7 hours a day on YouTube. By the way, I've sent part 2. Yes, thank you. I did get that. I'm sorry. I thought I did reply to that though. Maybe I didn't. I'm sorry. So that's good. Schmeister has part 2 of the story that he wrote for the winning story from the Halloween story contest. I've seen every one of Amelia Fart's videos at least 3 times. I haven't watched all of her videos. She's hilarious. Watch too much YouTube, never too much. Hey, Jeremiah. Hello. Thank you. Watch YouTube when not watching anime. Possible. Yeah, me too. All right, back to the stories. Just checking the chat. Go back. All right. This next one is called Blown Transformer. It's like 2 sentences long, so. While playing with the Ouija board on Halloween, my friends and I asked the spirit to give us a sign, and a transformer blew on the telephone pole in the backyard and knocked out the power. Yeah, careful what you wish for. Late aunt's name. So many years ago when I was in 6th grade, our class did a unit on ESP and related phenomenons. 2 friends and I started playing with my sister's Ouija board. We seemed to contact a spirit, asked questions, got answers. We also got a first name. Turns out one of the participating friends had an aunt with the same name who was dead. When we were using the Ouija board, the 2 people at the board had their eyes closed. The 3rd person was writing responses. Ooh. Communicating with a great-grandfather. So a friend of mine brought a Ouija board to a sleepover, and I had never played with one, so I was really excited to try it out. My 2 friends eventually got bored of it as the night wore on, so I wanted to ask one last question. I asked the board, "Do you have any questions for us?" It answered yes. It asked, "What's your name?" No, I asked, "What's your name?" It answered, "Abe." My friends and I immediately joked that it was Abraham Lincoln. I asked, "Who do you want to talk to?" It answered, "Erica." Erica is my mother's name, but she was downstairs and completely not involved in the game. I asked, "What do you want to say to her?" It answered, "Wish I knew her." This was so incredibly specific. I couldn't imagine what it meant. I ran downstairs to find my mom and asked her if she knew anyone named Abe. She said yes. Her grandfather was named Abe, but he died before she was born. I didn't know my great-grandfather's name, and my friends certainly didn't either. Holy crap. Some of these are insane. Wait, what's happening here? Oh, shoot. I did something to the chat. Okay. Let's see here. Princess Diana prediction. So I messed around with the Ouija in pairs and solos for a period of about 2 years. Experienced a lot of strange shit. This is my craziest story, and I swear to God it's true, and it happened in 1997. So one day I challenged the board and said, "Give me something independent to verify all the information it was giving me. Predict news event. Tell me something that's going to happen." It starts moving strange, like it's having a hard time telling me something. I'm paraphrasing here since it was a long time ago, but the exchange went something like this. D-I, D-I-E, D-I, D-I-E, D-I, D-I-E, D-I, D-I-E. I'm like, whoa, something nasty here trying to tell me princess died. Then it spelled out princess die, like princess D-I-D-I-E. Princess Di at the time was young and vital, of course, so I'm skeptical. Oh yeah, sure, she dies. How does this happen? Then it spells out car accident. Yeah, right. Like a princess will get killed in a car accident. Where's this car accident? Paris. Yeah, right. What the hell is the Princess of Wales doing in Paris? Okay, so when's this going to happen? Ohio. So I had a trip to Ohio planned in the coming weeks. So sure, whatever princess die will die in a car crash in Paris while I'm in Ohio. Okay. I go to Ohio. Nothing happens. I forget all about it. Just one of those weird Ouija sessions that happens every once in a while. Month or so later, I'm in Ohio again. I come out into the living room and everyone is watching TV, glued to a news report. I ask everyone what they're watching. Princess Di killed in an accident. I was speechless. Damn. I don't know. Would you want to be able to I don't know. I know that a lot of people want to predict the future and know what's going to happen, but do you really? Like if you knew someone or you loved was going to die, would you really want to know that? Sometimes I think things are better left untouched, as some things I think are destined to happen. I don't know. Or if you could prevent it. Like if you were someone that knew that someone could get hurt in a car accident and you tried everything to prevent it, would it really change it? Do you think it would change it? Think it would save them, or like something else like what is that called? The series of movies, you know what I'm talking about, when they all escape death, but then it tracked them down anyways. Fatal, no. Damn. What the heck is that called? There's like 6 of them. There's 5 or 6 of the in the series of movies I'm talking about. And I cannot Final Destination. Thank you, cats. Man, you're so smart. Yeah. So they all like escape death, but then it tracked them down one by one. Yeah, that's crazy. Ooh. Okay. Next one is called Stern Warning. So a few years ago, my friends decided to try this out with a group of guys. We were in the 12th grade at the time. My group of girls had messed around with the Ouija board before, trying varying degrees of success, or having varying degrees of success. Well, this time, it was my hands on the planchette with my other friend. This thing was moving crazy fast, faster than I had ever seen it move. And it seemed to be getting quite agitated by the group of guys who were with us, joking around and not taking it seriously. It essentially told them to shut up and stop talking. I told the guys, seriously, please stop being rude. I'm kind of freaked out. Because I was getting nervous, one of the guys took over. Hold on, I gotta close this door so the dog stops getting intimidated by my cat. My dog is scared by my cat. My dog is like 10 times the size of the cat. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so she told the guys, seriously, stop being rude. I'm kind of freaked out. Because I was getting nervous, one of the guys took over and he was a bit more serious about it. Almost immediately, the thing spelled out, don't open the door. Well, we were all in the basement and there was only one door. So we all kind of looked over at the door nervously because I was getting anxious. I took the blanket and kind of hid my face. Immediately, it spelled out, don't hide from me. Everyone was freaked out. The guy who had his hands on the planchette literally started to cry. He wanted to take his hands off. But we have this rule that you don't take your hands off until you get it to say goodbye. Everyone wanted to stop. But it took about 10 minutes of asking dumb questions until the thing finally slid to goodbye. Some of the guys speculated afterwards that it meant don't open the metaphorical door of the spiritual world. The reason being, as we told them to never ask for a sign, or else it kind of lets the spirits roam free outside of the board. Before that guy took over, they kept asking for a sign, only for me to cut them off mid-sentence and tell them to knock it off. So this made some sense. What? That's really weird. Yeah, that is really creepy. Aw. People are making friends in the chat. That makes me so happy. Feel like I have a purpose. Okay. Underground haunted city. I am from Edinburgh, and that's famous for the underground haunted city. I, along with a friend, spent the night down there. Creepy as hell. One of the activities we did was a Ouija board. Myself and my friend sat down to play, and all was going well. The usual describing who was there, apparently haunting the place, etc. This continued for about a half an hour when I kindly asked the board if I could leave. I was granted a yes. Around 10 minutes after me, my friend asked to leave and was promptly told no. This entity would not let her leave. The movements on the board got faster, erratic, and the temperature in the room plummeted. Only when several people in the room started crying did this entity let everyone leave. One of the most bizarre and scariest things I have ever witnessed. Safe to say, I have never gone near one again. Yeah. My stepson jokes about bringing one here all the time, and I adamantly say no. There's no justification. If you've had a good experience with one, great. It's not allowed in my house. Hey, Immunity. What's up? I shouldn't say that. It's so stupid, but I can't help myself. All I picture was like the parodies of people saying that. Trixie, why do you want me to open the door? She's just going to be mean to you. So now I have the door shut so the cat can't come in here and bug the dog, and the dog just keeps crying at the door because I shut the door. I know. Why does everybody have a Ouija board? It's insane. If you looked for them, you could probably find millions of stories on this. But they did sell it at Toys R Us, so thanks Toys R Us for supplying us with all these stories. Anyway, the next one is titled Flash of Light. I made a Ouija board when I was in middle school. It was made of wood from one of these trees in my backyard, and the planchette was a glass half circle that my grandmother gave us. We set it up in my living room at midnight with the only light being candles. My best friend and I asked if anyone was speaking to us. The answer was yes. I asked how many ghosts were present, and the answer was 7. My cat, KC, came up to us at the time. He stopped just beyond where we were sitting. He looked around and slowly weaved his way past us, as if stepping around people. Then the planchette quickly dragged our hands to spell out, "Happy to talk." As soon as that sentence was spelled out, a blinding streak of light that looked like a shooting star flashed from one side of my room to the other. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. It lit up my living room with an intense silvery light. Well, that one wasn't scary. Oh, come on. Katsumi Kyoto. I did a Ouija board, but they told me I'm scaring away the ghosts. Hasbro opens the gates to hell. I should go back at when we're all done with this and see if there's like a commercial for Ouija boards. I bet there is. And the cat is their grandma. This one's called Quiet Frogs. So me and my friends made our own Ouija board on a flat piece of wood, smooth like particle board, and made the planchette out of some cardboard. We took it up to the forest by my parents' house because who wants to risk haunting their own house? We couldn't get the board to say anything that made sense. But what was weird was when we'd start a session, the frogs in the forest would get quiet. When we'd stop the session, they'd resume croaking. At first, I thought it was just our talking that made them quiet. But we, of course, made other conversations to test that theory, and the frogs would croak during those. Definitely odd and hard to explain. Do you want to go back out there and fight with her? Okay. I think my dog wants to be friends with my cat, but my cat isn't having it, so. Anyway. Moving on. This one is called Knowing Never Used Names. Hey, Mr. Saberine. I got your email. I forgot to say. Sorry. My husband is checking for commercials on Ouija boards. Awesome. I hope there is one. Okay. This one's titled Knowing Never Used Names. So I have a really creepy story about playing with the homemade Ouija board with my sister. So basically, what happened was that we asked the names of the spirits or whatever we were supposedly communicating with, and it gave us the names Aiden and Hannah. Now, those aren't the names of either of us, but I found out later that if I had been born a girl, my name would have been Hannah. And my sister, born a boy, her name would have been Aiden. Neither of us knew at the time. I don't know if that's just some crazy coincidence or something actually paranormal, but either way, it was crazy to us. Whoa, dun dun dun. So there's 12 ghost stories next. Let's see. These are also like really short like those, so the first one is titled, so we're moving on from the Ouija board, and now we're on to 12 ghost stories. Or, yeah, of course the title was much longer, like 12 ghost stories to never listen to alone or something stupid like that. I don't know. All right, so the first one is titled Ghost on the Road. So I was in a car on a country road late at night when a terrified girl ran across the road in front of us. Driver slammed on the brakes, and we all jumped out to call for her before we realized that she had been transparent. I've never felt terror like that before or since. Holy crap. I swore I saw something on my deck yesterday. If you guys are OGs here, then you'll know that I see stuff in my house all the time. It's never anything ominous. Like last night, a pile of coats was knocked down, which I mean, that could have been easily explainable. Maybe the weight from the coats, like they were kind of stacked on a chair, so they maybe fell that way. But I don't know. I see stuff all the time, but it's just like out of the corner of my eye, and it was a lot yesterday. A lot. It happened a lot yesterday, and I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just sharing with you. I share because I care. Anyway, next one is titled Haunted Basement. I rented an old house while in college with some roommates, and the previous tenants left a note saying that they put a bolt on the basement door because it was weird down there. When we jokingly started down the basement steps, a huge cold wind came blowing up at us. We kept it locked, but every so often, we'd find that it had unlocked itself. Seriously, bad energy down there. Oh, come on. You didn't even go in there and try it out? Oh, man. Let's see. Cats and dogs misunderstand their meta communication. If a dog wiggling their tail are happy, but with cats, the opposite, eternal misunderstanding. Oh, yeah, you can tell. There's also accompanying facial expressions. Ouija board commercials. There's 4 on YouTube. Okay, good. We'll look for that afterwards. Okay. Haunted basement. We love that. This one's called Dog Alert. My dog is usually really chill, but one day she kept barking at the door. Then the doorbell rang 3 times, but nobody was there. My dog was pacing the floor and growling, which is so unlike her. The next day, I found out our super creepy next door neighbor had killed himself during that exact time. Aww. That's sad. I hate when you expect it to be scary and then it's just sad. Look in creepy basement. Let's go at night when it rains and with a damn candle. I was watching Omar Gosh TV yesterday, and his most recent one, if you go to it, it says, so haunted they burned it down. If you go to Omar Gosh TV, and I'll go to it when we're all done with this to show you guys, he caught paranormal activity, very clear, not grainy, in broad daylight activity, and I was blown away by it. And I'll show it to you guys just because I want you to see it too. When we're all done with all these stories, then I'll go to his channel and show it to you because I was amazed. Immunity says, I saw a flash of someone's face in my back seat via rear view mirror driving home from work last night. What's that about? I don't know. Did the face look familiar? Holy shit. Can't wait to hear more about that. Story time with Immunity on his channel soon. This next one is titled Dream Dress. I always felt like there was something unsettling about our attic. It was more than just usual attic creepiness. One night, I had a dream about another woman wearing my dress. She looked sad and lost. The next day, I went up and found my wedding dress box was open, and there were dirty smudges, fingerprints all over it. Whoa. Well, next one's titled Leave Her Alone. I went to a boarding school that was old and creepy as hell. And the building had originally been a tuberculosis sanitarium, so we all knew people had died there. One night, I was walking back to my room, and I swear I saw a ghost. I wanted to see it closer, but I heard a voice behind me say, "Leave her alone." When I turned around, there was nobody there. Yikes. Mr. Saberine, yeah, I don't want to sleep tonight. Please feed into my fear of the paranormal. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of early in the day. Sorry, Schmeister, not for you, but it's kind of early in the day for us Americanas. Americaners? Whatever. You know what I mean. This one's titled My Own Ghost. I woke in the middle of the night to find my bedside lamp on, which I never leave on. I glanced to the end of the bed, and on the chair there was me, sitting calmly reading a magazine I'd left there that evening. I, the real me, was chilled suddenly. My insides felt like ice. I just laid there. Then her, me, point two, looked at me. No smile, no change of expression. The next day, the magazine was on the other side of the room. Whoa. So what do you think that would be like, parallel universe intertwining? That's crazy. Whoa. That's crazy. Okay. The next one's titled Scary Hand. So when I was about 5, I apparently kept seeing a demonic hand in the tree outside my bedroom. When my mom asked what it wanted, I turned and said, "It's hungry and thirsty, but it has no mouth to eat or drink," which has to be the spookiest answer ever to come from a child. Yeah. Yeah. Kids can say some scary shit. Colonial Ghost. We lived in a 200-year-old farmhouse when our son was born. When he would cry, he would sometimes see a woman dressed in colonial clothing standing at the top of the stairs, tapping her foot, waiting for us to attend to the baby. Not scary, just waiting. I feel like I'm going to be that kind of ghost. Like, come on, let's do this. I definitely want to be able to haunt people when I die. That would be so fun. Plus, I can finally go to Paris. Dorm Ghost. During my sophomore year of college, my roommate and I were in our dorm, and suddenly everything on the top of her desk was swept off. Neither of us were near it, but it was like someone had just tipped the whole desk over. Still have no explanation for that. That's crazy. This one's called Ghost Name. My aunt's house had a harmless ghost. He opened doors in the kitchen and basement, made funny smells, hid stuff in weird places, that kind of thing. My aunt was pregnant, and when she and my uncle were redoing a room for the baby, they found a photo of a little girl behind the wallpaper with the name Louisa on the back. They framed the picture and named the new baby Louisa. Weird ghost activity stopped as soon as the baby was named. Whoa. What? That's crazy. Would you do that? If you found a fucking old picture with a name on it and you were pregnant or your partner was expecting, would you fucking name your kid that? Oh my God. Can you please do a true story of Minnie Freeman? She was a school teacher who saved all her kids' lives. Wow. That sounds really cool, Bernadette. Scarring your foes. Scarring your foes. And yeah, no. Okay, this one's called Condo Ghost. I'm pretty sure my condo has a ghost who lives in the kitchen. She and I feel like it's a she. Seems to act up most when I'm baking. I can't tell if that's a sign that she's liking my cooking or not. That's what no one needs is a ghost critique. Oh my goodness. This is number 12 of the 12 ghost stories. So then I have the signs of a haunted house after that. So this one's called Tea for One, and this is story number 12. My grandparents bought a lakeside cottage. They would close it up during the winter and have family parties and reunions there in the summer. My grandma says that every year when she would go to reopen the cottage, a teapot with tea and teacups would be sitting on the coffee table. She did some research, and the former owner was an elderly woman, and she passed peacefully in the house. Grandma always said she never felt threatened by her. She just always had to clean up her tea. I mean, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind a baking ghost, especially at Christmas time. I'm gonna attempt. Has anybody made meringues before? Discuss amongst yourselves. I've tried them before. If you don't know, it's like this cooked fluff. Is basically what a meringue is. And the last time I tried to make them, you probably could have I don't know, taken out someone's eye with it. It was pretty bad. That was the paper towel hitting the microphone. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this next thing we have. It's a great story about the worst blizzard. Oh. Signs that you live in a haunted house, supposedly. So, did I save this so I can see who the couple was? No, I didn't. Sorry about that. Anyways, they said they gave definitions of what a haunting is, what an apparition is, and what a poltergeist is. So, an apparition, I think we all know what that is. I think that's when you can see. This says it's our personality surviving the death of the body and capable of interaction with the living and presumably other apparitions. That's the true definition of a ghost. A haunting, a location or object holds or records information about its history. Our own psychic abilities allow us to pick up certain playbacks of the history, including sightings of people. However, these are recordings, not conscious beings, but a poltergeist. Physical effects such as moving objects in a situation caused by the subconscious mind of a living agent, generally someone in the household undergoing emotional and or psychological stress. Effects are caused by psychokinesis. So I want to do a story on psychokinesis actually because there's a movie called, was it Staring at Goats? And it was it's a true story about how our military had its own experimental division on psychokinetic location where they could, and it was, obviously controversial because the accuracy was hit or miss, but they had men who stare at goats. I want to do an entire story. I'd like to do an entire series on MK Ultra and on psychokinesis. There are proven facts or proven cases of psychokinesis, but it's so rare. But the army or the government thought at one time that they could train people to become psychokinetic. So, and that was a long time ago. So If our own government thought that then, I'm sure that they have right now probably even proven that theory, taken the experiments to the next level, maybe even altered the genetics of people to be prone more to psychokinetic experiences. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see here. So they asked this couple, what is the most obvious sign that your house may be haunted? And here's their answer. They said movement of doors, and there's 9 of these. This is the first one. Movement of doors, sound of footsteps, moving of items, like putting a check down on a table and it wasn't there when you returned to the room. That's called an apport. Cold spots are another way to tell if there's ghosts there, but checking for blowing vents and open windows first, obviously. Because ghosts are energy, they draw the energy from the movement from the moving air molecules and slow them down. Slower moving molecules of air are cooler air. Ghosts in homes also tend to give off negative energy and make some people feel irritated, depressed, argumentative, etc. That's interesting. Question number 2 was, are there subtle signs of a haunting that people often miss? There can be subtle smells of perfume or pipe or cigar smoke. These smells are usually related to the person when they were alive. The scent of lavender, roses, etc. are quite common in homes built in the Victorian era. The people living in the home may dismiss losing their keys only to have them appear back again in the same places same place as forgetfulness. You might also find things that you can't account for. These things tend to have meaning to the spirit person and are being used as a communication tool. People tend to dismiss the more subtle signs. So, is this interesting to you guys, or should I move on? I'll wait for the answer while I read number 3. They asked, is it true that pets and children can see things that adults cannot? And the person says, as I explained in my new book, shameless plug, spirits and ghosts move at a higher vibration. Dogs and cats also have the ability to hear higher frequencies. Think of a dog whistle that humans can't hear. Spirits and ghosts talk on that higher frequency so that they can hear it, which is probably why we can sometimes catch it on a recording. Kids also have an innate ability to tune into these entities, though that it is lost as they grow older. Babies and small children are wide open to their world. They have not been taught to dismiss what they see and feel. So I'm going to pause right there in the middle of that. So if you were to convince your mind of all things are possible, do you think you could see things that are not there? Or do you think that there's only specific people that are gifted with that? As they say, children outgrow it. So if you were to be able to reverse, let's say you started to convince yourself that Santa was real and really believe it. I mean, even if you think for a second, like you did as a child, that Santa is real, do you have this little spark inside of you that makes you feel happy or nothing? I'm just curious. I could go on a whole entire live stream about opening up your mental capabilities, but Kat says, I think we could see what's there if we forgot about our limitations. Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I can definitely feel it. I have a whole other discussion about that right there. Something repetitive. I don't know if I'll ask you guys this question and I'll look at the answers in a minute, but do you guys have anything that happens to you repeatedly and each time and I don't know if this happens to everybody else, but this one specific thing happens to me all the time. And each time I'm not exactly sure how to respond to it in a way that will benefit or be the correct response. So I'm going to ask if you have something repetitive in your life that you feel like you need to act on. I'll check back for the answers for that in a minute. But they have not been taught to. Okay, so all too often a sensitive child will be strongly discouraged by adults in talking about seeing spirit people. The parents may dismiss this as an imaginary friend or accuse the child of telling tales. It is better to engage the child with interest and ask them age-appropriate questions. Do not be fearful, as they will pick up on this fear and be afraid simply because you are. So the next question is, when you see something, are you supposed to tell the energy what year it is and that they don't belong there? Is that true? And will it really get a spirit to leave? And the answer was, this year is really relevant if you need indeed have an apparition. The year is. Okay, so telling them that they don't belong there is not a bad idea, but a better one would be to ask questions like, who are you? What do you need? What can we do for you? Interestingly enough, most apparitions leave after that, though some actually try to communicate. And at that point, it becomes a bit of a discussion and diplomacy to either convince the ghost to move on or help them with whatever they might need. Like Ghost Whisperer, if you guys ever saw that. Explaining to them that they are dead without a body, that they need to move on, whether to the light or simply to someplace more fun. Ask them to go someplace they always wanted to visit when they were alive. Of course, most people are unfortunately too scared to ask those questions, or actually too afraid they might get an answer. Yeah, I think that. Let me see what the answers are here. Let's see. Do you ever feel eyes on you when you gaze into the dark? I always do. Immunity. I don't know if you. I've said that repeatedly here, so I don't know if you've ever been here, but every time I'm in the dark, it feels like there's a person right in my face staring at me all the time. Sometimes I block it out and I can totally just pretend it's not happening. And I don't know what that means. Does that mean I'm crazy? Who knows? But I definitely feel it. It's not an imaginary thing. And it doesn't matter where I'm at. There's only a few places I've been where I don't feel like that. If I'm outside in the dark, I don't feel that way. It's always inside in the dark, which is crazy. You'd think you'd be more scared of the dark outside than inside, but that's not the case for me, and I don't know why that is. I do sometimes see things out of the corner of my eye, but if I face it, there's nothing there. Something repetitive. I sometimes have the most incredible dreams. I've traveled to actual places because of the dreams, so if a dream is persisting, I think hard. Oh, yeah. Once I look harder, it goes away. I've heard that when you feel that is the future you looking at you, or sometimes more sinister. Huh. Can you tell when something else is standing in your room? I find the dark quite soothing. How the darkness doesn't match. Like the opposite of all that. That's what's scary to me. Can you tell when something else is standing in your room? You know what's funny is if my husband gets up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or otherwise, it's the same feeling. So I don't know if what I'm feeling looking at me in the dark is actually sinister or not. I can just feel like someone's there. So if I'm like, my husband will be already asleep and I will be like watching something on YouTube. So if I feel it, I'll just flip my phone around to light the area. And I probably do that on an average 4 or 5 times every night before I go to sleep. And that's on a regular night every night. So I'm sure that makes me sound insane. Something that's out of place, but you can't tell what. I really do feel like I need to go back home to Hawaii. I need mana from the land. Hawaii is like, oh, I think it would be hard if you grew up in Hawaii to move away from there. Okay, so we are on to number 5. Are most cases you encounter actual hauntings? And the answer is about 50-50. One of the members in the ghost tracking group is an architect that can explain settling of houses, drafts, etc. I'm a scientist, so I can explain heat and cold and other physics-related issues. Sometimes, though, teenage girls have a lot of energy they can project and simulate ghosts and haunting activities. That's called a poltergeist. We've had to recommend counseling for a couple of girls who did wind up being the cause of what appeared to be paranormal activity. And I've heard of stories of that also before. Guys, remember that show, A Haunting? They still make the show, but it's on Destination America. And There was a story of a lady who was so stressed and worried about her family that she literally projected a poltergeist and was subconsciously, not purposely, torturing herself and her whole family. And when they discovered that, it would solve the whole problem. Isn't that crazy? Okay. Well, imagine you're a ghost and you'd like to hang out exactly the place where you are, and someone comes and tells you should move forward. How rude. I can feel people when they come in or out of a room, and also pets. Yeah, I can feel that too. Let's hope when you flip your phone around that you don't actually find something. Immunity, every time I expect to see someone. Peaceful heart, I know there's ghosts in the dark outside, but I try to ignore it. Poltergeist is awesome with the movie too and the whole thing. I like the original Poltergeist. They remade Poltergeist. Not as scary, not even close to as scary. Not you can't. Don't mess with original classics. Don't mess with original cult classics. I don't know who thought they were doing some good there, but that was dumb. That's not the actor's fault. It's just why would someone do that anyway? Let's see. Oh, and that wasn't even done. We've encountered a lot of we have encountered a lot of cases of true hauntings. I wrote about a double murder investigation in my book Lessons Learned from Talking to the Dead, where two women were ghosts murdered in a home and were still there. And we learned and confirmed how they died. They still linger there because they want to protect families that live there. I have a picture of a face of one of them that appeared in an orb, the most simple form a ghost can take. Wow. All right. Number 6 is, what should a person do if they believe their home is haunted? The answer is they should take notes, record the times and locations of incidents, and look for patterns. Also, rule out alternate non-paranormal reasons for what is happening, like creaky floorboards or a drafty house. If there is something present, they need to be treated with respect. Treat them like a neighbor that you would want to leave so you can make dinner. Yeah, get out. Either way, get the fuck out. Sorry. Ask them politely to leave and tell them you live there now. Make sure that they know this is your house. If you can't clear them out, contact a local paranormal group like Inspired Ghost Tracking in Maryland. I'm a medium in that group and will help them cross over. Oh my, girder. Ghost murder, girder. Let's see, what happens? This is number 7. What happens if you just try to ignore the spirit? They say it's a very bad idea. Most people will try to ignore or dismiss activity. If the activity is caused by a spirit person, this can cause an escalation. Just like a living person, they will try harder to get your attention. So yeah, that disproves the whole, if a bully is bullying you, just ignore them and they'll leave you alone. That's not how it works. Bullies bully because they can, and they will until you whoop their ass and tell them to stop. Number 8. Are there things people should never do? Oh, let's guess what the answer is. One thing that people should avoid: Ouija boards. They open doorways and allow dark entities to come in addition to someone you may want to hear from. Many times when people use them, we know when we walk in. Opening a door to another side will also allow discontent, anger, depression, and even right. So even if like a scary thing doesn't happen as soon as you're playing with a Ouija board, it's like if you stepped on a piece of wood in the woods in the summertime with your flip-flops on and you pulled out the sliver, but there was a little tiny piece still in there. And then like a month later, your foot hurts. And then like 2 months later, you have an infection and no one can figure out why. It's a slow growing cancerous type thing that is ever present. Just don't fucking play with them. I don't know how many times I can say it. Hey, bye, immunity. Bye. Bye. Sometimes people can place items can have negative energy attached to them. Um, and I've seen things where they've taken an actual electric meter to certain, like if you have like a inanimate object that has no electricity to it and you put a meter up to it, it shouldn't have any, it should read 0. But if it's reading something, get it out of your house. I would be curious to see if anybody read electromagnetic energy on Ouija boards. I would like to know if that's happened. Number 9, is living with a ghost as terrifying as movies make it out to be? Real activity tends to not be as scary at all if it is understood by the people experiencing it. Sadly, most people experience horror and they jump immediately into fear. Oh, most people's experience is horror and they jump immediately into fear. Some people fear the unknown and unseen, and some, like me, just want to know more about how it works. Yeah, me. I want to know. There are many people who live happily with a spirit person or two in their home. They name them and talk to them all the time. Communication and understanding are key to any good relationship, even with those that have passed. Wow. When does ghost hunting season begin? I bought tags. It would be hilarious if someone sold ghost hunting licenses and there's only a season for it, like all through October. That's awesome. Happy Valentine's Day. Here's your tag. And how would you hunt them, anyways? I wish they sold one of those things from Ghostbusters where they throw the thing down and you push the button and it sucks them in. Only you can just do that to people you don't like. Or like lines in front of you and you're waiting in a super long line at the store. Um, Open a business of supernatural tourism. By the way, that is also a sign of your house is haunted. People will come and want to visit your place to see if it's haunted. There was an event here once at a museum. One of the attractions was to play a Ouija board. What? Mm-hmm. Did you spray yourself with salt after? My stepdad was a hemp Jimi Hendrix mural. Has a hemp Jimi Hendrix mural from Woodstock. He swears up and down it's haunted and cursed, and you can't do anything with it but leave it in the tube in the closet. Can't hang it, can't sell it. You could bury it. Just don't tell him. Just put something else in its place and see if he notices. I had 2 spirits residing with us. Awesome. I like that. If they were ghost hunters, what if they were ghost poachers? I can just, how, and I'm not making fun of the poaching commercials, but can you imagine like a ghost poaching commercial on stopping ghost poaching, and then there's like a sad ghost in a ghost trap? I don't know. My brain takes me to some weird places as soon as you said that. That's what I was picturing. And then like the Sarah McLachlan sad music for the ghosts that are trapped there. Oh my god, my brain. I was gonna look for let's see here. I was gonna show you guys what I saw on Oh My Gosh yesterday. I literally was in shock. So I don't know if you know Oh My Gosh. If you ever watched it, he does all kinds of paranormal stuff. He's got a lot of subscribers type of thing. As soon as my stupid slow ass computer gets to it, then I can show you. I literally couldn't believe that. I paused the video with my mouth hanging open when I saw this happen, and I can't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I got to share it with you guys because you'll have to tell me how you feel when you see it. I have to get past all the music I was listening to while I was making cookies this morning. um Apparently I've watched a lot of videos since then yesterday. Um Okay. Okay. So haunted, they burned it down. So I have to find the mark where it was at so you guys can see it. It's Omar Gosh TV. You'll see it in a second so you can see the name. I'm gonna get to the part where it shows the thing flying up at him. Hold on a second. Oh god, there it was. Okay. So hold on a second. I'm gonna pause it and share it with you guys so you can see it. Hold on. I have like no room to do this because I brought in a plate of food like I thought I was just gonna eat while I was in here. Screenception in a second here. Sorry about that in advance, but you'll be able to see this in a second. So I'm going to unplug my microphone. Hold on.
I've been just kind of standing here for about 5 minutes or so in silence. I keep hearing this tapping noise. I know it's not James, because James is on the opposite side of the house. If there's something here that's tormenting,
Watch.
Please give me a sign. I'm not scared of you.
Here it comes.
What the hell was that?
Now, if you didn't see that, he's going to replay it in a second. But he caught on camera a piece of wood fly from the ground right at him in clear, broad daylight. And I don't know about you, but I haven't seen that happen very often where someone catches that on camera.
What the was that? Oh my gosh! This thing just went flying at me right now out of nowhere. Bro, something just came flying at me. What the hell's down here? How is that even possible? Who's down there? Hello?
I'm going to pause it and make the screen bigger so you guys can see it in case you couldn't. Just a second. Go back so you can see that moment where it happens. Hold on a second. It was so, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and neither did he. He was asking for a sign, and he fucking got one.
You.
Now watch the screen. Not right now, but in a second. He's going to pan back.
What the hell was that? What the was that? Oh my god! This thing just went flying at me right now out of nowhere. Bro, something just came flying at me. What the hell's down here? How is that even possible? Who's down there? Hello?
And I will link that for you guys below if you're going to check that out again. But I swear, I even commented on his video because I just was so shocked at what I saw. I couldn't believe it. Broad daylight, clear, paranormal activity. I've said that repeatedly. If a place is haunted or you're going to get activity, you can get it in broad daylight It doesn't need to be 3 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't need to be dark. And if you're trying to capture evidence, broad daylight evidence would be probably the best kind, don't you think? Yeah, let me stop sharing for a second. And then I was going to look for the Ouija board commercial that we were talking about and see how do they advertise this. I can't wait to see it. It's a 1991. Oh my God. So what do you think the difference is between a Ouija board and a magic 8-ball? I mean, the magic 8-ball is just floating in the water. You never hear people talking about stories about that. But here is a commercial from 1991 of the Ouija board. Hold on a second. I forgot to share it first before I did that. I made it a full screen and then I forgot. So sorry. And we're going to wrap it up probably soon after that. It's already 1:19. That's crazy. Okay, here is a 1991 commercial for the Ouija board. So far, that's the only one I see. Will I ever be tall enough to slam dunk?
You're moving it. No, I'm not. You're moving it. You're moving it. Would you just quiet? I'm trying to concentrate here. And I'm not moving it. You're moving it. You're moving it. No, I'm not. You're moving it. You're moving it. Would you just quiet? I'm trying to concentrate here. And I'm not moving it.
No one questioned this?
You're moving it.
Don't you think that's kind of crazy? Original Parker Brothers Ouija commercial. What? This is insane. 1929.
I'm Kip Parker. And I'm Charlie Parker. And we're the Parker Brothers. Hey, Charlie, what's missing from our game catalog? I don't know, Kip. Tell me. Well, you can't talk to the dead. You sure as hell can't. That's why we got this brand new game called Ouija. Ouija? Well, break that down for me. That's we, because you're having a great time. And G, it's the G, aren't you having a blast because you're having a good time with the we. It looks like it smells like a Chinaman got caught in there. Don't question it. Well, Ouija, Kip, tell me about it. Well, inside the package comes a flat board with all the letters of the alphabet, numbers from 0 to 9, and a yes/no written.
Okay.
Gee, aren't you having a blast?
That seems really fake to me. I don't know if that seems fake to you guys, but it seems really fake to me. Usually you can't, no, that seems fake. Anyway, Godzilla, King of Monsters. Let's look at that trailer. Are we still sharing? Yes. Let's see, which one's longer? I just look for the longest trailer possible. Let's see here. Official trailer number 1. Here we go.
Our world is changing. The mass extinction we feared has already begun, and we are the cause. We are the infection. But like all living organisms, the Earth unleashed a fever to fight this infection. Its original and rightful rulers, the Titans. For thousands of years, these creatures have remained in hiding around the world. And unless all the Titans are found, our planet will perish, and so will we. They are the only guarantee
That's 11.
that life will carry on.
You are out of your goddamn mind.
I I'm sorry, but this is the only way. You're a monster. I'm sorry.
Long live the king.
And I will be watching that as soon as possible. We normally, not normally, we try to go to, we try to go to the movies on Christmas Day, which always used to make me sad for the kids that work there on Christmas Day. But not everybody is Christian and doesn't celebrate Christmas, so gotta remember that part too. I don't know, what else do you guys want to talk about? Because I think I have literally ran out of stuff to entertain you with for this morning. What if they were ghost hunters? What if ghost poachers? Oh, you see, that was like way back. I'll watch it only because my cousin and my good friend Godzilla. Oh yeah, I know. Build the endemic organ and end it. Sold. Sorry for the wall of text. So I started this after my comm. Ken Morley. Now what? Christmas isn't exactly Christian. Oh, let's not get into that because that'll be an all day, all night long discussion, Schmeister. But yeah, you're right. Especially not the way that it's celebrated now. But despite the fact that people argue about when Jesus was actually born, and depending on if you're Jewish or Christian, he's either the son of God or just a really nice Jewish boy. But I did see an article on Facebook that was talking about what Jesus would have really looked like because a scientist took the remains of what looked to be Jesus and built like a face on it using computer graphics. That was really funny. He looked really confused to be here. I'm sorry, I just ate into the microphone and realized I had just plugged it in, so I'm really, really sorry about that. Hellfest? Ah, we're wrapping it up anyways. I had saved all those stories, which we went through really quickly, actually. I didn't get too squirreled out during the whole thing, so we are going to wrap it up anyway. I'll probably live stream again on Thursday. Fingers crossed. I'm not going to promise that, but I would like to live stream again on Thursday. And Wednesday and Friday is Patreon, and Saturday is another SKS. So on that note, I want to thank you all for joining me. This will stay up as they all do, so you can feel better about yourselves as you go about your day. Hopefully I'll see you Thursday if everything goes right. I'll try to do it a little earlier in the day, but I wanted to get some stuff done here before I started this today. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you for coming. I really deeply appreciate you all. So proud of the lack of squirrel. I squirreled right there. And on that note, bye. 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 Bye.